Share screen. Share. Oh, got somebody. Yeah, finally. What time is it? Okay. Yeah. Sure, my mic is fine. Oh, and they're gone. Oh, somebody there? Oh. Look at that. We have people. Got 2 so far. Hopefully more people show up a little bit later. Back to using the shitty mic for this. Boy, kind of nostalgic. I haven't used this mic in quite a while. Hey, boss. What's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, just decided to go live for a bit, see how it goes. Just, hang out for an hour or two. Just, see what's going. How's it going? What's up? What's up, man? How you doing? Hey, what's up, Jason? How you doing? Quite a few impromptu streams lately. Yeah, a little bit. Doing good, Jason. Yeah, it's good. Glad to hear that. So, yeah, just going live for a little bit. Just gonna see how this all plays out. Yeah, I don't really have anything like planned for this. It's just gonna be kind of a hangout kind of little thing. Drinking coffee. Man, what I've been jamming lately? Well, lately I've been actually getting back more into like a lot of like thrash because, like thrash for me is it's like it was a genre that I got really into, like obviously when I was like a little bit younger, but as I've gotten into other types of metal, I've listened to it less and less, but lately I've been going back to it a lot. And yeah, I still love thrash, and I kind of miss, not jamming as much as I used to. Let's see, like Morbid Saint, been listening to a lot of Morbid Saint lately. Hyrax, what's the number one? Razor. I actually did my Razor discography ranking. Been listening to a lot of them. Yeah. So yeah, mostly thrash. Some other stuff kind of in there, but it's mostly kind of thrash for me lately. What do you think of Abigail 2024, the horror film? Haven't seen it. I didn't even never heard of it. Hey, what's up, Jake? How you doing? Abigail 2024. Yeah, I've actually... Huh, yeah. I actually didn't see anything about this movie. Interesting. If you like horror, it's good. Well, I'll probably have to check it out then. So, yeah. Anyways, hope you're all doing good. This is, again, just kind of a little impromptu little thing. Probably not gonna be on for like super long. Probably, let's see, it's 6:30 now. We'll probably go for maybe, I don't know, maybe like 2 hours maximum, 2.5 hours max, probably. So yeah, if you guys got any like questions or anything, feel free to pop them down just in the live chat. Or if you got, I know because boss, I know you're here. This is a big thing with we love to do your live streams and stuff. If you guys have any band versus band or like album versus album questions that you want to ask me, and we could play that. You could pop it down in the live chat, and then we could do that. Yeah, coffee's getting cold. Yeah. Cannibal Corpse or Obituary? Probably Cannibal Corpse for me. I love Obituary, but I think Cannibal Corpse is just like the slightly better band. Yeah, probably Cannibal Corpse for me, even though I love Obituary. Saw both of them live on the same tour, and that was fucking crazy. But the Obituary set sucked because like they didn't play like any of their classics. Like when I saw them when they were touring with Campbell and Monomarth, and I was excited. I was like, yeah, they're gonna play like Chopped in Half and like Slowly Raw, stuff like that. No, they played like a couple new songs. They played like Redneck Stomp. They played a few songs off of the last album. They played Memories Remain, and that's it. I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, saw them live. They were awesome, but the set list sucked. But yeah. Anyways, kind of off topic here. Kringle asks Morbid Angel or Deicide. Probably. Ooh. I don't know, actually. Because both of them, there's like a period of them where I like really, really like both of those bands, but then they have some absolute clunkers like both of them. Maybe that's actually kind of tough. Oh, that's actually kind of tough because if we're doing like just like the first 4 Deicide albums versus the first 4 Morbid Angel albums, I'd probably go with Deicide. Overall, though, I would probably have to go with Morbid Angel just because I feel like Morbid Angel is the slightly better band. Although the fucking Aluminum Anus, whatever the fuck it's called, is one of the worst albums ever made. But yeah, probably Morbid Angel for me, just because I think they're slightly better. Blood Red Throne or Vomitory? I will be perfectly honest, I haven't listened to much Blood Red Throne. That's a band I still need to get into, so Vomitory by default because I know Vomitory. Do you have thoughts on Ginger? I do not. Ginger is just kind of one of those bands that I know they're like really popular, but I've just never really been that interested in them. So yeah, not really. Metallica or Anthrax? Okay. I think I might have to go with Metallica on that one. I love Anthrax, but for me, I don't. Well, because for me, like the first 4 Metallica albums, obviously, are like absolutely golden. Like those albums are still like untouchable to this day, in my opinion. And Anthrax, like their early stuff is really good too, but I mean, both of them have some pretty big clunkers. But probably Metallica for me, just because Metallica was actually the first metal band I ever heard, so there was kind of like the nostalgic factor in there too. So yeah, Metallica. What's the best live show you have seen so far? I I already mentioned Campbell Corpse. I saw that this was last year. We were touring from Montmartre. That was a really fun show. The problem is that where I live, it's just like not a lot of bands like come here, and when they do, they kind of almost always go to like this like there's a few venues like up in Vancouver, which is about 45 minutes away from where I live, and but most of them are like 19 plus because obviously that's the drinking age, and because I'm not 19, I can't get into those venues. So a lot of times when bands come, they go to those venues, and so I can't get in. So yeah, that's just kind of a shitty thing, but there's still a few I've seen, like Cannibal Corpse. Again, that was a lot of fun. Samba Sugar, they were pretty cool. I'll probably go with Cannibal Corpse for now, and just that kind of whole show. I had a lot of fun with that show. Wasp or Whitesnake? Probably Whitesnake, to be honest. I love like early Wasp, but to me, they kind of fall. For me, I've kind of fall out of Wasp after Headless Children. I really don't like much in their discography after that. But Whitesnake, come on, they're just like great classic. I wouldn't really call Whitesnake a metal band, but they're just a great classic, blues rock, kind of glam, pop, metal, whatever you want to call them. I just think Whitesnake are awesome. Best Woods of Ypres album. I actually have not listened to any Woods of Ypres yet. That's a band I've had on my radar for like forever, but I've just never gotten around to them yet. Woods of Ypres. I know it's a band I should be familiar with because I know they're like Blackened Doom, I want to say, but yeah, I just haven't gotten around to them yet. Are you into Rush at all? I ask as a fellow Canadian. Oh yeah, I like Rush. Favorite Rush album? I really like mostly kind of the early stuff, like obviously like 2112, shit like that. Like I probably would like to say Moving Pictures is probably my favorite though, just because. Moving Pictures, I know it's like kind of not as proggy, it's more kind of poppy than some of their other stuff, but come on, dude. Every single song in there rips. Obviously, you have Tom Sawyer, Red Barchetta, Limelight, which is my favorite Rush song. Yeah, I like Rush. They're arguably the greatest trio that ever existed in all of rock music. So, yeah, Rush is good. Painkiller or Somewhere in Time? Painkiller, because Painkiller is my favorite Judas Priest album. Somewhere in Time, I love that album. That album's absolutely amazing. Like every single song on there, I think is amazing. Like Wasted Years, Caught Somewhere in Time, Stranger in a Strange Land, amazing album. But you can't beat Painkiller. All right, Painkiller is the epitome of Judas Priest for me. Like that, yeah, Painkiller. Oh, same. Oh, dude, same. Every song's like a single. Yeah, absolutely. Boss, you and I are going to have some problems here. Vital Remains or Nile? You motherfucker. Ugh. I love both of these bands, but god damn it. I love Vital Remains so much. I think they're just like so damn underrated, and but Nile's really good too. The last Nile album, fucking, oh my god, that album is amazing. I don't know. I love both of these bands so much. All right. I think I might have to go with Nile because Nile, Vital Remains, they're not great about putting out new material. Like, 2007 wasn't it when their last album came out? So, yeah, they're kind of just, they've been kind of dormant ever since, but yeah, man, I love Vital Remains though, but yeah, I think I've got to go. I think Nile might be the slightly better band. Boss, that's mean. Okay, to be fair, I deserve it. I deserve it because I know I've asked you a bunch of mean questions like that on your live streams and stuff. So I deserve it. I deserve it. Got it because I work tomorrow. Halifax time. Love your videos, man. Stay metal. All right, see you around, Gringle. Yeah, stay metal, man. You, so long, you Halifaxian. Halifaxer? What do you call someone from Halifax? I'm not sure, actually. Haligonian, okay. Good to know. Who's the best rock and roll band going right now, and why is it Clutch? Because they're Clutch. That's all that needs to be said, really. Vengeance is mine. No reference to Eisner or Morbid Angel. Yeah. Like, again, I deserve it because I know I ask some pretty mean questions on your live streams. Yeah. Glenn Benton or John Tardy? So now we're comparing vocalists. And for me, it's John Tardy, definitely. I love John Tardy's vocals. He's just such an iconic, amazing delivery. And yeah, Glenn Benton, I don't think Glenn's vocals have aged particularly well. Just because I don't know. I think his voice has kind of gotten a bit worse over the years, especially on like the last the Aside album. Like, I just kind of thought the vocals didn't sound that great, and I feel like he kind of uses too many effects on his vocals. But so yeah, John Tardy I think is definitely the better vocalist of the two. Annihilators, Neverland versus Sacrifice, Soldiers of Misfortune. That is an easy one for me to say. Soldiers of Misfortune. In fact, I have, this Soldiers of Misfortune back patch that I got forever ago. I haven't sewn it on to anything yet because I cannot find a denim jacket like anywhere that doesn't cost like $90. So just because I don't know why, like I keep like looking at thrift stores and stuff and they're nowhere to be found. But yeah, I do have this Soldiers of Misfortune back patch because this is actually my favorite thrash metal album of all fucking time. So yeah, that's kind of an easy one for me. Neverland's a really good album, but does not even come close to this for me. Yeah, I just hang it on my wall for now because again, can't find fucking denim like anywhere. It's ridiculous. Glenn sounds tired nowadays. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. New Sacrifice next week. Yep. Yeah, look really stoked for that. Definitely, yeah, really looking forward to that New Sacrifice album. I think it's going to be absolutely killer. Like their last album I thought was really good too, The Ones I Condemn. But yeah, it's been a while. That's like, what? That came out in what? Was it 2011? I think it came out if I remember correctly. So yeah, it's been a while. So hopefully it's going to be good. What is your favorite Nevermore album? Favorite Nevermore album. It's the one that I cannot remember the name of off the top of my head. Here, let me just quickly look it up on the archives here because I can't quite remember the name. Nope, not that one. I think I like Dreaming Neon Black. I think that's my favorite. Is this the one? Yeah. Yeah, I think Dreaming Neon Black is my favorite. I would definitely... you'll find out if I do get around to ranking Nevermore, which I would love to get around to ranking Nevermore. Speaking of which, they just reformed, didn't they? Didn't Jeff Loomis, bring back Nevermore? Yeah, really curious how that's going to go without, Warrell Dane at the helm. That's going to be quite interesting. Torment and Fire is my fave. Yeah, really solid debut, but I think Forward Determination and Soldiers of Misfortune are kind of stronger albums personally. 2009 is when it came out. Is when Ones I Condemn came out. Dead Heart and a Dead World is my favorite Nevermore album. Yeah, that album's really good too. Their Sound of Silence cover, I really like that cover. Way better than the Disturbed cover, which I fucking hate Disturbed's version of that song because I'm such a big fan of the original too. But yeah, I think Nevermore's cover of that is really good. And what else? I actually introduced my mom to Nevermore, the song Believe in Nothing, which my mom's not a metalhead really at all, but she really liked that one song, "Believe in Nothing," off of that album. So yeah, no, kind of a special connection with that album a little bit too. Hales, brother, keep up the great videos. Hey, thanks, man. Disturbed is cop rock. Lol. Yeah, that's a pretty good way to yeah, that's a pretty yeah, that's a great term, cop rock. I know that I'm actually might start using that now, like cop rock. I like that term. Like Five Finger Death Punch, I would also say is cop rock, like because I think cop rock is worse than like butt rock. Like it's like just dumber, it's edgier, or like faux edgier. I don't know. I just like that term. Black Label Society or Ozzy Solo. Personally, for me, I'm gonna say Black Label Society. Ozzy Osbourne, for me, I love his early like solo albums, like obviously Blizzard of Oz, Diary of a Bad Man, great albums. But after No More Tears, for me, his solo career kind of takes a bit of a nosedive. Like I do like No More Tears. I think that's a really good album. Then the follow up Osmosis, I really like the opening track, Perry Mason. I like that opening track on that album. I think that song in particular is fucking amazing. The rest of the album is pretty boring though. So yeah, and then after that, it just kind of gets progressively more boring in my opinion. So yeah, so Black Label Society, because I think Black Label Society is like pretty consistently good, honestly. I know a lot of people give Zakk Wylde shit, and yeah, he maybe is a bit too overly reliant on pitch harmonics, but I don't know. I like Black Label Society. He's just kind of good. I guess like blues, metal kind of groove kind of thing. I don't know. Whatever you want to call them, I think they're good. Right now I'm getting a text. (1984) or 2112. This is kind of a pretty easy one for me. 2112. I don't know if this is like a controversial opinion. I'm not the world's biggest fan of 1984, to be honest. Like, even though that was like the first Van Halen album, I actually think that might have been the first album I ever bought with like my own money. It was either that or Purple Rain by Prince. It was one of those two. Looking back on 1984, there's two songs on it that I like really like, Panama and Hot for Teacher. I think those two songs are awesome. The rest of the album is just kind of whatever for me. It's kind of there. If I never want to hear Jump ever again, frankly. If I can go my entire life without hearing Jump by Van Halen ever again, I will be totally fine. Yeah, 1984. I mean, it's not like a bad album, but I just not a huge fan of it. But 2112, I mean, that album is amazing. Like yeah, that 2112 easily. Yeah, the Glam Halen stuff is kind of more kind of hit or miss for me. I'm not a big fan of it, really. I like the early, more just kind of straightforward, hard rocking shit from Van Halen, personally. Here, where did I put the? Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, just quickly put this back up because, yeah. Come on. Yeah. Come on. There you go. There you go. Unchained Unchained has one of the heaviest riffs ever. Oh yeah, that song is fucking kick-ass. That Unchained, that's like one of my favorite Van Halen songs. Killswitch Engage versus Unearth. I kind of have to pass on this one. I really don't listen to enough of either. I don't hate like metalcore per se. I just kind of never got into it. Like, I kind of skipped that whole subgenre of metal in my like metal journey. Yeah, I just never really got into it. So yeah, I really can't say much. I don't like hate those bands or anything. I just really don't listen to enough of either of them to form an opinion. Saxon's Lionheart or Motorhead Inferno? Probably Inferno. I think Inferno's one of the better Motorhead albums. Lionheart's good, but I think I like Inferno a little bit more. That's the one with In the Name of Tragedy on it, right? Actually going to quickly double check because I might be. It is Inferno, right? That's the one with. Jesus Christ, they have so many albums. Oh yeah, no, I'm thinking of the right one. Okay, yeah, no, probably Inferno. Hey, what's up, Tony? How's it going? Hey, what's up? Keep up with the awesome videos. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, thanks for supporting the channel. You were like one of my earlier subscribers, so thank you, man. Pentagram or Saint Vitus? This one's tough. I love both of these bands. I think I might have to go with Pentagram personally. Just because I think Pentagram. I think Victor Griffin's one of my favorite guitarists ever. That dude is a riff god. Yeah, probably Pentagram, even though St. Vitus is amazing. I love St. Vitus. But yeah, Pentagram. Which Acid Bath album is better? Definitely, I think When the Kite String Pops is definitely the stronger of the two. Pagan Terrorism Tactics, I love that like almost as much as When the Kite String Pops. Definitely kind of feels like they're maybe shooting for a little more accessibility with Pagan Terrorism Tactics. It's a really good album still, though. Like, dude, Bleed Me an Ocean. Greyflower is like one of my top 3 favorite Acid Bath songs. What else? There's like Pagan Love Song on there. Diab Sole. Oh, what's that other one? Locust Spawning is really good too. But yeah, When the Kite String Pops is just still one of the most just disturbing fucking metal albums ever made. Like I just love that album to bits and pieces. That was the album that got me into sludge metal. So yeah, it has a very special place in my heart. I did a Motorhead ranking, biggest pain in the balls. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, yeah, that Motorhead wrote the same album over and over again. How many albums does Motorhead have? Is it like, I know it's more than 20. Is it like 23 or something? Hang on. Yeah, 23. Or 25. Is it 25 or 23? Google is saying it's 23. Hey, what's up? Iomic? Hope I'm saying that right. Yeah, no, I love Motorhead, but yeah, I'm gonna wait to do a ranking for them just because, yeah, that would be kind of mind numbing, honestly. Hey, Gordon, how's it going, man? How you doing? How's the wife? Oh, it is 23. Yeah. Google is telling me it's 23. So, but yeah, still 23 albums. That's Jesus Christ, that's a lot. I think the most was it. I think Dark Throne is the longest discography ranking that I did in terms of like studio releases. Because they have is it 21 albums? If I remember correctly. Right, I think it's 21. That was quite an interesting discography to go through, just because Dark Throne changes around their sound so much from album to album. It's kind of crazy. She's good. Well, I'm glad to hear it, my man. Oh, speaking of the wife, it looks like she has just showed up. Hi, Taylor. How are you? Yep, live streaming. I recently found out a band I think you might like. They're called Empyrean Sky. Progressive / heavy metal band. Check out Snow White Rose of Paradise. Hopefully you'll like it. I have not heard of that band. Empyrean Sky. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll add them to my list. I mean, if you think I'll like them, I'll definitely check them out. Here, let me quickly bookmark that before I forget. Oh, there we go. Thank you for the recommendation, Tony. Any thoughts on the band In Vain? I actually don't know if I've ever In Vain. That sounds familiar. I are they like actually I want to say I've heard of that band, but I don't know if I've heard of that band. Are they like a metalcore band, or are they like something else? My dogs are going to war with each other. Send help. Oh yeah, no, that's like not with dogs, but like we have a bunch of cats that live here, so they frequently like to declare war on one another and fire up the stairs like friggin' little missiles. What's up, my? Come on, Fias. I've explained this to you, bro. Hey, how's it going, Fias? How you doing? In Vain is blackened progressive metal. That seems interesting. Okay, I'm trying to look them up on the archives here. Is it The Latter Rain? Is that the band? Is it their debut album, The Latter Rain Mantra? Is that am I looking at the right band? What you drinking? Oh, just coffee. Yeah, just coffee. Nothing else. Yes, sir. Yeah, no, I have actually never really. Yeah, I've never listened to this band. I'll have to check them out too. Progressive death / black metal. We're looking at the similar artists tab here. Was it what there? Opeth, Borknagar, Enslaved, Amorphous, Yilton. I'll check them out. I think I might like this band. Coffee at 7 p.m. is crazy. I don't know. Caffeine doesn't really. It's kind of a weird thing with caffeine for me. It doesn't really like wake me up that much. Like I can really drink it whenever and still like just feel tired. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm young. How's school going? It's going fine. Yeah, fine as it can, I guess. Yeah. Really not much happening there. It's going, so that's good. I actually had a long weekend this past weekend because Friday was a non-instructional day, and today is a family day, which is just like a stat holiday. So there's no real there's no real celebrations or anything. It's just like just you don't have to go to work, you don't have to go to school. So hey, good shit. Check out their most recent album, Solemn. Good place to start. Yeah, I definitely will check that out. I'm like that with energy drinks. I usually more tired if anything. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way with energy drinks too. Like I can like crush a can of Monster like before I go to bed or something, and just not be like up all night with like caffeine craze. Gonna watch the U.S. Canada Four Nations final. Okay, I am sorry. I am very out of the loop because I do not know what that is. Is it hockey? Hockey. Yeah, no. I'm sorry. I don't follow any sports like at all. I've just never been like a big sports person. So trying to talk to me about sports is like, you might as well be speaking like freaking. You might as well be speaking freaking Swahili to me because I have no idea what you're saying if you talk about sports. Yeah, hockey. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it just because not big on sports. What's your favorite female-fronted band or artist? I do listen to a few. I don't know what my favorite would be though. Okay. Warlock is kind of going the one that's kind of Warlock is really good. You know, with the Doro's band before she like lost the rights to the name or something, had to go under Doro. Warlock is really good. Mythic, even though Mythic never put out like an album, I think Mythic is really really solid. Like old school Death Doom. What's another one that I do listen to a couple. I just can't think of their names off the top of my head. I think I'll go with Warlock for now, just because that's. Oh yeah, no, Holy Moses. That's one too. Holy Moses is really good. Favorite 3 metal albums of all time. So my top 3 favorite metal albums of all time, like these are kind of the ones I like. The order of themselves kind of changes, but these are like the 3 I always kind of think are my favorites. So the first one for me would be Solitude Eternis's debut, Into the Depths of Sorrow, which that album has always just been with me, and I love every single track on that album. That album is just a perfect album. Like Robert Lowe's vocals are absolutely amazing. The riffs on that album are incredible. It's got such an intent. It's everything about the album is amazing. And another one for me, like definitely top 3 of all time, is Sonic XS in its purest form by Crowbar. Which I mean, yeah, Crowbar will are probably like my 3rd favorite band ever, just behind Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. So yeah, Sonic XS is my favorite Crowbar album, and just melancholic, doomy sludge metal. Absolutely love that album. And then the 3rd one would probably be another debut album, Funerals Tragedies, their debut. My favorite Funeral Doom album. Just again, such just sorrowful, melancholic, doomy metal. The vocals on that album are absolutely amazing. Like you have these absolutely demonic, like death growls, but then you have these beautiful, like female vocals as well, which are just amazing. And I just love that album. So those are probably my top 3 favorite metal albums of all time. Those are like 3 albums. Like those are like the Desert Island albums. If you said, okay, the world's gonna end in like you only have 3 albums to listen to, those are the 3 albums I'm going to be putting on. Love Mythic. Yeah, Mythic's awesome. Derketa is also really good. Sacrilege. I am not familiar with Sacrilege. I'll be perfectly honest. I'll have to check them out. Some of your favorite YouTubers. Obviously Frauds of Metal. That's kind of a big one. You know, they're giving me a couple shouts and stuff, and they funnel some subscribers my way, so I'm kind of obligated to like them. And, you know, they're just, you know, really, really solid dudes and stuff. Other favorite YouTubers, I mean, of course, I would be very remiss if I didn't mention, you know, Thrash Maniac 99. Again, Levi, super solid dude. I've been on his live streams before. I was in the Metal Archivist, and that was a lot of fun, but although that fucking Crowbar section still pisses me off to this day, because how the fuck do you not have Buzz Oven? Okay, I'm moving on, because I'm going to get quite mad about that. I mean, just like all kind of the metal YouTubers, really. You know, just being part of this, you know, kind of whole metal community thing is just really good. And, you know, just, you know, meeting with all these, you know, different people who, you know, way more knowledgeable than I am, way more informed than I am. You know, obviously people who are much older than me and been around, you know, the scene since, you know, the 80s and the 90s. Just talking to all these people, you know, just the kind of the whole metal community as a whole, I think is just really, really awesome. Anneke van Giersbergen is fantastic. I am not familiar with that either. You really love Doom? I mean, yeah, Doom is my favorite metal subgenre. Yeah, Doom metal is my favorite like style of music on the planet. So yeah. Have you heard of Los Horizonless? I have not. You keep mentioning bands that I do not know. I like it. Keep them coming, because I'm always on the lookout for new music. Yeah, not familiar with Los Horizonless. Sacrilege is a crust thrash stenchcore band of the 80s with a girl vocalist. Okay, crust thrash. That sounds pretty interesting. There's a melodeath band of the same name too. Yes, the old Sabat situation, eh? It's kind of always funny when you run across two bands that have the same name. Check out Sacrilege Behind the Realms of Madness, a classic. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. What about Namaka? Oh, aren't you a little clever boy, you fetus, you? Oh, yeah, she's cool. I did win a bunch of CDs from her, so yeah, obligated. I'm kind of obligated to like her too. Big time underrated doom band, Helllight. Loss. Yeah, no, I know Loss. I thought you saying the band was called Lost Horizonless. No, I know Loss. Loss is really good. Yeah, really solid funeral doom. Loss is really good. I like them a lot. Big underrated doom band, Helllight. I don't think I'm familiar with that band, however. Helllights. Brazilian funeral doom. Okay, you have my interest piqued. What was this? She sings with Devin Townsend and backings as well. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Admittedly, I still need to get into some more kind of Devin Townsend. I got into Strapping Young Lad. Like, I'm a big Strapping Young Lad fan, but I haven't really delved much into Devin Townsend's other projects. Like, I haven't listened to, like, because he has, like, what, the Devin Townsend solo, Devin Townsend band, Devin Townsend project, and doesn't he have, like, a bunch of other, like, projects, too? Man stays busy, that's for sure. So, yeah, I still need to get into some more kind of Devin Townsend, but I will eventually. Just, it's just there's so many bands out there, Twisted Tower Dire demos have great female vocals. I'll have to look that band up as well. Twisted Tower. Huh. Mm-hmm. All right, I'll bookmark that as well. Well, thank you everyone for like the band recommendations and stuff. I do really appreciate it because I'm always on the lookout for like new music and stuff. So brutal death metal versus melodic death metal. Me personally, I probably like brutal death metal a little bit more. I do like melodic death metal, but it's not my favorite in terms of like. I do like melodic death metal. It's just not my favorite style of like. It's not my favorite style of death metal, but I mean, of course, I love Intestine Ballism and like Dark Tranquillity and bands like that. But yeah, brutal death metal. I mean, come on, you have what? You obviously have Suffocation, Broken Hope, Pyrexia. What else? You have like Scattered Remnants, Moral Decay, a bunch of other like kind of weird like one-off bands like Regurgitation, Rotting, Vomit Remnants, and Internal Bleeding. Yeah, I'm a pretty big brutal death metal fan, so yeah, I like brutal death metal a little bit more. You 80 new tabs open? Yeah. I very frequently have like 15 tabs open on this laptop, which is definitely not good for it because this thing is pretty old. But hey, it's lasted this long, so very proggy compared to Strapping Young Lad. Yeah, I do know that. I do know that's a lot more proggy, definitely less kind of aggressive than Strapping Young Lad. I do know that. Uzala from a few years ago is a great doom with female vocals. Usually doom bands that have female vocals are usually pretty good. Like the one band Force that I talked about like recently, with their one album, they had a female vocalist on that album. That album is pretty kick-ass, and that band is pretty good. Opens another tab. I'm closing up some of my tabs. All right. Both are better than old school death metal post 1991. I don't. Post 1991 though, I don't know. There's a lot of like good old school death metal, or just old school death metal that came out after 1991. Like Once Upon the Cross, that was 1995. The Bleeding, that was 1994. What else? Bull Thrower, those ones. Loyal, their final album, that was like what 2005, something like that. I don't know. There's a lot of old school death metal after 1991 that I think is really good. So I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. If you like thrash, you will like these Belgian bands, Channel Zero from the 90s and Cyclone from the 80s. I'll definitely check those out as well. Because Belgian like thrash, because the one Belgian thrash band that I do know is Target, and Target I think are really underrated. Super awesome, like kind of technical like thrash metal that's not I don't see many people talk about. I think they're really really good. Better close those tabs and delete that search history. Dude, my search history is all kinds of fucked. I don't even bother deleting it at this point. Clean Flesh is a hard one from 97. Brutal. Okay. I've heard of Clean Flesh. I again have not listened to them yet, but I do have them like on my. I keep like a long list on my phone in my notes of just bands I need to check out, and Clean Flesh has been on there for a while. Hey, Metal Ben's Chronicles, what's up, Ben? How you doing? How you doing, man? Yeah, Broken Torso's pretty good. I enjoy them a lot. I'm good, man. Yourself? I'm doing good, having a fun time. Just here, chatting with all you good peeps. Just hanging out, talking about some good bands, shooting the shit. It's good times, good times. What's the next concert you want to go to? Actually haven't looked at. I don't know if there's any like. Actually, I'll look it up. Right now. Because there was the one, like the Incantation Decapitated tour, but that's at a 19 plus venue, so I can't get into that, unfortunately. Okay, which is a damn shame because I would love to see fucking Incantation live. What else? Oh wow, there's actually quite a few stuff coming up here. Oh, apparently High on Fire is. Oh no, that's in Bellingham, Washington. Never mind. Thought they were coming to Vancouver for a second. I was like, no, that would have been sick though. Yeah. Yeah, nothing really at the moment. There's a bunch of stuff that I want to go, but I can't obviously because again, it's at like 19 plus venue, so I'm not old enough to get in. So, yeah. Wish I could go to Seattle for Northwest Terror Fest this spring. Northwest Terror Fest. That's I don't know if I've heard of that. I admittedly don't pay a whole lot of attention to festivals a lot, just because again I can't really go to any festivals just because me being the age that I am, it's hard to get around stuff. Oh wow, this is a sick lineup. Dude, Agalok, Demolition Hammer, Gorguts, Deceased, Hyrax. Oh, dude, Witch Vomit? Dude, this is a sick lineup. Holy shoot. Brain Oil? Spectral Wound? Dude. Yeah, wow. I kind of wish I could go do that. This is a sick lineup. Dude, I would kill to see Demolition Hammer live. Dude, to see 44 caliber brain surgery live would be like a dream come true to me. That would have been sick. More tabs opening. I'm closing my tabs, all right? You pipe down, Taylor. Do you play any instruments? Want to make your own music? I do not play any instruments yet. I would like to learn. Maybe I've been thinking about maybe I should actually finally, because I've said to myself for years I'm gonna actually finally get up and learn guitar, but I just haven't gotten around to it. But I would like to maybe learn guitar. And in terms of like making my own music, maybe not. Who knows? If I ever do actually get around to like learning how to play stuff, then I could probably figure it out from there. But as of right now, kind of not so sure about that. I hate metalcore as well, especially vocally. It's like fish and meat consumed together. That's okay. Uh, yeah, sure. Like fish and meat consumed together. But all right. Ever heard of Oxygen Destroyer? Oh yeah, I know Oxygen Destroyer. I thought they're pretty solid, like kind of death thrash band. Yeah, no, Oxygen Destroyer is pretty solid. Yeah, I do like them. Metalcore that is rooted in hardcore is great. Yeah, yeah, that's kind of a metalcore for me is just such a weird like genre term nowadays, just because of how it's like kind of evolved. Because like a lot of like the modern like metalcore bands, like they're like, it's like I like listen to them. It's like how is this like considered like metalcore? Like the whole point of metalcore is that it's metal plus hardcore, mixed together. But like shit like Spirit Box or like it's like that stuff's not metalcore. All right. Like I'm not a big metalcore fan, but I know that shit is not metalcore. It's like pop, like it's like pop mixed with like gent riffs, basically. Yeah, like I don't get like why metalcore has kind of evolved the way it has. I think it's kind of just weird. Like it's just, again, it's just such a weird. The genre's kind of lost its identity, admittedly. You are in Vancouver, Scorched Earth. Well, I'm not in Vancouver, but I live in Abbotsford, so yeah, that's like 45-minute drive away from Vancouver. Scorched Earth Fest looks awesome. Crust Fest. Scorched Earth Fest. Uh, uh, I don't know any of these bands. I'm admittedly not a huge like crust punk fan necessarily either. I just again, crust punk is just kind of a genre I kind of skipped largely in my metal listening experience. Like I haven't really dived much more into it, so yeah. Earlier metalcore had more of an edge to it. Yeah, definitely, because it wasn't so reliant on like bands like Earth Crisis and stuff didn't have to shove it like shoehorn in like pop punk riffs and like pop hooks to like be to like in their songwriting. They didn't have to do that. New Kill Switch Engage next week, and the singles sound great. Yeah, I'm not kind of kind of yeah. I might check it out just to see what it's like. Who knows? Maybe I'll like it. Who knows? I mean, if you guys want to see like a review for it or anything, I would be willing to do it if there was like a large demand for it. I'd definitely do it. There's a good underground scene right now. Yeah. For more traditional metalcore. Yeah. Cro-Mag's Apocalypse Now. That song blends different styles together. Oh yeah, Cro-Mags. I like Cro-Mags. Cro-Mags are definitely kind of more of a crossover thrash metal band. Well, they were like hardcore, but then they kind of transitioned to more kind of crossover. I do like Cro-Mags. I think Cro-Mags are really solid. Like some of the more kind of New York hardcore bands that kind of like are more on the crossover side. I do like I do like them, or even like the one like or even All Out War. Even though they're kind of like I don't know if they're like fully like New York hardcore. I do like them a lot. I think they're a really solid band. Like their second album, For Those Who Were Crucified, is an absolute ripper of an album. Like I've seen some people call them like Slayer core, because I mean, yeah, it's just like absolutely vicious like Slayer riffs mixed with like hardcore, and it's badass. I want to see the review. Yeah, all right. If you guys want to see me review the new Killswitch Engage album, I definitely will do it. Since My Beloved was the best new metalcore band, but they broke up. Yeah, can't say I've ever heard of that band. Sorry. I just watched Metal Trenches did his Gent Bands tier list video earlier today. Yeah, so I do. I haven't watched it yet. Gent is kind of just it's just kind of a weird genre. I don't even know. I honestly don't even really think Gent like qualifies as a genre. Like Gent to me is just like a type of it's a type of guitar riff, right? Like for me, like if Gent is a genre, that's like calling like tremolo pick a genre, or it's like calling blast beat a genre. Like it's just like a style of like playing guitar, because I feel like most gent bands would probably just fall under like metalcore most of the time, or like Meshuggah, who are kind of like progressive groove metal, I guess is kind of what I would probably consider Meshuggah. Kind of progressive yeah, I think progressive groove metal is probably the most apt term for Meshuggah. Early 2000s metal death style with a strong hardcore backbone. Gent is a very annoying term, I think. Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't really. I've kind of grown to dislike the term gent a little bit, just because. Yeah, especially the whole. Yo, a stream on a Monday night. What's up, Dreadful Minutes? Rick, how's it going, man? How you doing? Good to see you. What's your favorite concert you have seen? I think someone already asked this question, but you weren't here. That would be the Cannibal Corpse Monomorph Obituary tour. That whole concert was pretty sick, except for Obituary set list. Again, their set list sucked, and they didn't play they missed a bunch of their classics, or they didn't play any of their classics, or they played a couple, but they didn't play Chopped in Half, which is I don't know how Obituary could get away with go playing a concert and not playing Chopped in Half. Fuck out of here. That's some bullshit. But yeah, that was a really fun concert. Besides Obituary set list being kind of shitty. Unbroken is great. Slayer Core. If you say Slayer Core, I'm definitely gonna have to check them out because, I mean, yeah, I love Slayer, and hardcore mixed with Slayer riffs is pretty killer. Bro, how would they not play Chopped in Half? I know that's what I'm saying. How do you not I'm still kind of mad about that. They didn't even play Slowly We Rot either. They played Memories Remain. That's the only song they played off of Cause of Death. That's the only song they played. They didn't even play anything off of Slowly We Rot. They didn't. They played Redneck Stomp, Memories Remain, and a few songs off of I think they might have played Visions in My Head, War in My Head, that one song off of Visions of Blood, something like that. They played a couple songs off of Dying of Everything, which I do really like that album. I think that album was one of the best of 2023, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. That set list was pretty shitty. Have you seen Diener 89? Just thought I would ask. It's a Canadian movie. I have not seen Diener 89. I'm going to quickly look that up. Diener 89. Oh, newer movie, Canadian action comedy. Yeah, no, I have not seen this movie. I'll probably have to check it out. Stoner Doom, I find, is often glossed over in the grander metal scheme. That actually kind of brings up a bit of an interesting topic, I think. I feel like doom metal is kind of a glossed over kind of subgenre, really, kind of in general. I think Stoner Doom is probably the biggest subcategory within doom metal. But yeah, because I feel like probably the most overlooked metal genre for me is probably traditional doom metal, because Fetus, you mentioned trad metal. There's kind of the new wave of traditional heavy metal. We got bands like Haunt and Traveler and Mean Mistreater and stuff playing kind of classic heavy metal again. But traditional doom metal, the bands because that's my favorite shit on the planet. That's the stuff I really like. Pentagram, Trouble, that stuff, Witchfinder General, but really there aren't any newer bands playing that style, old school doom metal. It's always Stoner Doom or Sludge Doom, or it's something kind of Baroness or Mastodon, where it's kind of the more progressive, Lisa, the more kind of progressive sludge kind of stuff, or obviously the Death Doom stuff, which I love all that stuff too, but it's kind of, I also wish, more traditional Doom would pop up, because that's my favorite stuff, ever. More Epic Doom, too, because again, Epic Doom, traditional Doom, those are my two favorite subgenres on the planet. I love them both to death. Some questions here that I have not, sorry, scrolling back up here for a second. The last album from Morbid Saint, they made a killer album? Oh, yeah, Swallowed by Hell, that album absolutely ripped. I love that album. Insanely good album. Most insane show I went to was Ozfest 2004. I saw people getting hauled off in cuffs, and a dude passed out in the lawn area, almost get set on fire. People getting hauled off in handcuffs? That's crazy. I mean, Ozfest, I can kind of see that shit happening at Ozfest for sure. Look at that, we've hit 1 hour streaming. Morbid Saint, Swallowed by Hell versus Atrophy's Asylum. Swallowed by Hell, definitely. Asylum was pretty decent, but Swallowed by Hell, that album absolutely rips. Love the new wave of traditional heavy metal movement. Oh yeah, that's a really, yeah, I love it too. Yeah, I think most bands honestly do it like really well. Like I feel like they managed to find a way to get like kind of, it's not like old school production per se, but they do find a way to get like production that I think sounds kind of good. Like I, because that's the problem I have with a lot of kind of more modern metal is just I don't really like super clean, super polished production. But I feel like most of the new wave traditional heavy metal bands find a way to get like a stellar production. I don't know how, but they do. There are some epic doom bands. Yeah, there's some. There's not a lot, but there are some. I think you will like Uzala. I will definitely check out Uzala. Smolder is a new epic doom band. I think that's their name. Smolder. I've heard of that band. Haven't really listened to them. Oh, they're Canadian. I did not know that. That is actually really, really cool. Yeah, no, Smolder. I heard of them. I've kind of had them on my radar for a bit, but I have not checked them out quite yet. Epic Heavy / Doom Metal. Yeah, I'll check that out. Like, yeah, okay. Still, so many bands I should know but have not heard yet. But speaking of like kind of like like epic doom, like Crypt Sermon. Crypt Sermon obviously got a lot of attention last year, and which I think is awesome. Because I love Crypt Sermon, and I thought that last album was absolutely amazing. So it's nice seeing like a epic doom band get a lot of attention, which is that's cool and all. Master of Reality or COC's Blind. Master of Reality, definitely. That's a no-brainer for me. I love Blind, I love COC, but yeah, Master of Reality is definitely. I mean, without Master of Reality, there wouldn't have been a COC, frankly. Or well, no, there still would have been, but they would have been playing like hardcore punk instead of like the sludge stoner stuff they play now. Yes, same here. Maybe because I'm older and grew up back then, but I do prefer more raw production and have trouble getting into a lot of modern stuff. I'm exactly the same way. Usually for me, like even if a band does have like kind of more modern, clean production, as long as the music is good enough, I could definitely get into that stuff. But because production really, you really have to really fuck up on the production aspect for it to like outright ruin it for me. But I definitely prefer like kind of more old school gritty production than to a lot of the more overly polished clean stuff. Like metal has to have dirt, has to have like grit, because for it to be like metal in my opinion. Early Moods from last year, severely underrated doom release it overtook Crypt Sermon for me. Oh yeah, Early Moods, they're killer. Yeah, they're a really really awesome doom metal band. They didn't quite overtake Crypt Sermon for me, but Early Moods did make it onto my honorable mentions. Yeah, I think Early Moods are absolutely killer. Have you heard of Into Eternity? I have heard of Into Eternity. I have not listened to them yet, though. I know they're like kind of like progressive mellow death, I think, from what I've read. Canadian progressive metal from Saskatchewan. I've been to Saskatchewan. Yeah, it's the furthest actually east I've traveled in Canada. Saskatchewan, yeah, pretty cool place. When I went there, we saw the Al Capone's secret tunnels that he made there to smuggle booze into Canada. That was pretty crazy. Crypt Sermon is amazing. Eternity. Oh, Atheist or Pestilence? This is tough. Not because I'm a giant fan of both, but because I'm admittedly not a big fan of both. I like Atheist's debut, Piece of Time, and I like kind of the first 3 Pestilence albums, and then that's kind of really it. Probably gonna go with Pestilence, just because I think I like Consuming Impulse more than Piece of Time. But Pestilence, like overall, in terms of like overall discographies, I respect Atheist a lot more than I respect Pestilence, just because Patrick Mamelli is such a fucking twat, and his whole fucking stance on like he's just such a fucking goofball. Like him basically like making fun of like Quest for Metal because he didn't like his like ranking of his band and his whole shit with like AI and the re-recordings. I don't know. Patrick Melly is a fucking or I like to call him Patrick the Smelly because he's a smelly asshole. But yeah, I think I like Consuming Impulse more than Piece of Time. So yeah, for me. There are a few albums with clean production I like, and one of them is the Anomalies of Artificial Origin by Abominable Putridity. Abominable Putridity, admittedly not overly big on them. Uh, I don't think they're bad. I think they're just kind of okay. I'm really slam, like I love brutal death metal, but slam brutal death metal is definitely much more hit or miss with me. Some of it I think is really good, but most of it I think is just absolutely worthless garbage. I grew up in North Dakota. People often ask if I'm from Canada. Uh, yeah, no, I can imagine. I mean, North Dakota, you're right. I mean, you're right along the border, so yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, that checks out. Atheist Unquestionable Presence, 10 out of 10. I actually do have that album because I'm a kind of when she did the giveaway and I got the CDs, that was in them. I will re-listen to it just to see if my thoughts on it have changed, but when I did listen to that album, I wasn't overly huge on it. I can respect the musicianship and everything. It's just prog metal, like especially like very jazz fusion-y prog metal is kind of very, 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 very hit or miss with me. Do you agree Metallica should have changed their name, making the Black Album? No, I don't. I mean, it's still the same band. Like, it still has like kind of the three, core members. Like, like James. You still have James. You still have Kirk. You still have Lars. Yeah, it was a stylistic shift, but I don't think the Black Album is like the worst thing that happened to metal. I mean, it did kind of have a negative impact on metal, I feel like you could say, because it did definitely heavily alter the metal landscape of the 90s, but I don't think it's not the worst album I've ever heard, and honestly, the newer Metallica stuff, I do actually kind of enjoy. Like, I thought 72 Seasons, I thought their last album wasn't like God's gift to metal or anything, but it was decent. Death Magnetic, yeah, the production sucked, but it had some good songs on it. Hardwired had some good songs on it, like Spit Out the Bone. Come on, that's like one of the best Metallica songs ever, in my opinion. I do like it, so yeah, I do. I don't think Metallica should have changed the name after the Black Album. What's the coolest album you own? That is a great question. Probably. I don't know, actually. I mean, I like all the albums that I own, obviously. I mean, it would probably be... Here, let me go get it real quick, actually. I think I have it up here. Actually, oh, yep, there it is. I mean, yeah, this one, way up there for me. Sorry, get the glare out of the way. Disembowelment transcends into the peripheral. I mean, yeah, this is like the greatest Def Doom album of all time, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'd probably go with this one. But I mean, again, I like all the albums in my collection, so this is probably my favorite. And Taylor, I know you got this from me, so yeah, feel proud of yourself, huh? What else? I can't get into slam or pig squeal vocals. Yeah, the pig squeal vocals are kind of... I'm not a big fan of that vocal style, admittedly. What do you think of the Belgian speed metal band Acid, thinking of getting their debut on vinyl? I've heard of Acid, still have not checked out Acid yet. Boy, I feel kind of stupid because like everyone's bringing up bands that like I haven't heard yet, and it's just like, yeah, I should know these bands, but I don't because I spend my time listening to random like Finnish underground black metal instead of like trying to find like actual listening to actually like well established bands that actually like are important, but this is kind of how it is. Excuse me. Metallica was on a path towards commercial music throughout their entire career. The Black Album was then finally finding their sound. Yeah, I could see that because they were definitely kind of morphing their sound a lot from like, because you listen to Kill 'Em All and then you listen to Master of Puppets. It's pretty different. Like they definitely were very kind of much altering their sound as the years were going on. I thought Hardwire was decent, so did I. Load versus Reload. Probably Load. I think I'm not overly huge on either, but there's more stuff on Load that I like. Like Until It Sleeps, I do really like that song off of Load. Bleeding Me, I really like that song. There's might be a couple more on Load that I think are pretty decent. It's not. I don't think it's like a great album, but I think Load is definitely better than Reload. Reload is just kind of like the microwave leftovers of Load, and yeah, Heart Winning. Yeah, you're real proud of yourself, Taylor, aren't you? Hardwired and 72 Seasons are hands down the best Metallica albums they've done lately. Yeah, I'd agree. I think I think I like Hardwired a little bit more than 72 Seasons, but I think they're both pretty decent albums, honestly. Rippy Kulu probably there with Disembowelment. There's Skull Cavers. Oh yeah, Rippy Kulu is fucking killer. They never put out a full length though, which kind of bit of a bummer. But Rippy Kulu is absolutely just gross, disgusting Finnish death doom though. All the later albums from Metallica that sounded a bit tougher were riffs I already heard, but worse. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. I do understand. But I do like some of the later Metallica albums. I think they're pretty decent. Are they up there with Master of Puppets or like Kill 'Em All? No, but I think they're decent. There are plenty of awesome underground bands from the 80s and 90s. Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't think anyone's going to question that. There's tons of underground bands, like not just from the 80s and 90s, just from like in general. Like a lot of the bands I listen to are like from like, kind of, a lot of the bands I just kind of come across are like from the 2000s or 2010s, and they're like a bit more obscure, but it's like, hey, I think they're pretty good. Underground Swedish metal from the early 80s is quite interesting. Oh yeah, definitely. Like what's some like Nemesis? Nemesis is pretty interesting. Like Nemesis was basically Candlemass before they were Candlemass. They're pretty interesting. There's a few other ones that like I cannot remember off the top of my head. All right, looks like you're all just looks like we're all just having our little friendly greetings. Love to see it. Heavy Load. Oh yeah, Heavy Load's awesome. Yeah, their frontman died pretty recently, which pretty big bummer. But yeah, Heavy Load are an awesome band. Sweden is such a great country for metal. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, come on. You have Swedish death metal. You have Entombed, Dismember, Grave, Desultory, or is it Desultory or Desultory? Because I've heard people pronounce it both ways, but they're really good. I mean, yeah, Swedish death metal. You have Swedish black metal like Marduk, obviously, Dissection, fucking. I know a lot of people give them shit, but Dark Funeral I think are badass. And of course, I mean, come on, Candlemass. Candlemass is from Sweden, dude. Yeah. A lot of great 70s proto metal also. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Have you heard of Kalinish Circle? I think I saw that. I think you posted them on like your Instagram story, Tony, if I remember correctly. No, I have not heard of Kalinish Circle, but that little bit that I heard on your little Instagram story, it did sound pretty interesting. Kalinish Circle. Extreme metal from the Netherlands. Yeah. Okay. Oh, they were on Metal Blade, so yeah, they're probably good. Yeah, I'll have to check them out. Catatonia. Oh yeah, Catatonia is awesome. Love Catatonia. Brave Murder Day, amazing album. Have you heard of Zenith? Local band. That's all I know, though. Ha ha ha. Taylor, aren't you so unbelievably clever? Yeah. Oh yeah. For those of you who aren't aware, Taylor actually here is my sister in real life. So yeah, but yes, Taylor, I have heard of Zenith. I have not checked them out yet, though. I have them saved on my phone. All right, you be quiet. All right. Messiah Marklin, that vibrato, mind-blowing. Oh, yeah. Messiah Marklin's like one of the greatest male vocalists of all time. He was 19 on when they recorded fucking Nightfall. Like, how is that a 19-year-old kid doing those vocals? Like, holy shit, that is amazing. Isn't he? He's actually back in Canada, I'm pretty sure. Like, he's doing like live vocals with them now, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't he back doing like live vocals with Candlemass now, currently? Or do they still have Johan with them? I didn't know you have a sister. Yeah, I do have a sister. You into the moody, gazy stuff at all, or post-black metal? Fen are one of my faves. Post-black metal? Maybe, kind of, maybe a little bit. I'm not sure. I don't know, like more like kind of the black gaze stuff. I'm really not into because I really don't like shoegaze. I just don't like shoegaze on its own in general, but adding in black metal, I mean, it makes it better, but I don't know. It still mostly kind of misses with me. Like I don't like Deaf Heaven. I don't really get the appeal. I don't really get why that band's so popular. Admittedly, Alcest I think is. I actually haven't really dived much into Alcest just because I probably should give him a chance though, honestly, because again, expanding my musical horizons is a good idea. Okay, leave me now, have fun. Bye, Taylor. Love you. Pet Bowser for me. Give him lots of head scratches. Give your cats head scratches too, please. Tell them I said hi. Was a Great Dead from Mayhem was in the video from Canvas? Oh yeah, he was. He was, wasn't he? That's a really cool piece of little metal trivia. Yes, I think he's making some guest appearances with Candlemass. That's pretty cool. I guess Messiah and Candlemass do kind of have a bit of a tumultuous relationship. Who knows? Yeah, so, but I mean, that's kind of cool making some guest appearances. Like, I would kill to see Candlemass live. Like, one of my favorite bands ever. Like, I don't really have much else to say. I just really want to see Candlemass live. If I could see him with Messiah, that'd be killer. But even if it's like with anybody, frankly, if it's with Johan, or even maybe if they get Rob Lowe back in the band sometime, that would be killer. I agree, shoegaze and metal don't cross over too easily. I feel like kind of sometimes they mix pretty well, but some other times it's kind of, Life is a pretty great black gaze band, more screamo punk sounding than atmospheric. I've admittedly never heard of Life. You are bewitched. Sorry you had to hear my horrible singing voice. I know I sound like a dying whale. Maybe I should learn how to actually sing properly, because I feel like maybe that'd be cool. But sorry if you had to hear my terrible singing voice. That was horrible. Yes, I'm huge into Candlemass also. Yeah, it looks like we're all pretty big Candlemass fans. Around these parts of town, which love to see. Yeah, actually gonna take my hoodie off here because it is getting a little warm. Yeah, just put that over there for now. Show off my cool Saxon shirt I got over the holidays. Yep. Yeah. Candlemass live would be heavy as fuck. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like their guitar tone is always like unbelievably heavy. Like they are really just masters at getting amazing guitar tones. Any Anathema fans here? Me, I like Anathema. I actually side with their more kind of like their like softer stuff more than their kind of heavier stuff. Honestly, because I feel like the early, more straightforward Death Doom stuff, it's good, but it's very rough. Like Serenades, in comparison to like the other kind of Peaceville death metal or Death Doom debuts, like compared to like As the Flower Withers or like Lost Paradise from Paradise Lost, I think it's pretty rough around the edges, admittedly. Like I don't think Serenades is like, again, I just feel like the songwriting's a little not quite there. The production's pretty rough. But I think I always forget the name of their second album. Is it Black Enigma, Silent Enigma, something Enigma, or Silent Black? I don't know, something like that. I always forget the name of their second album. I think that album was definitely an improvement, but I honestly like when they kind of changed their sound a little bit more and they started to get kind of lighter, more kind of Silent Enigma. Yeah, that's it. Or like, but I like their more later era stuff, honestly, just because I feel like they got better as songwriters, they got better as musicians. But yeah, Anathema, overall solid band. Yeah, definitely. Sounds very Celtic Frost. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean most of the early kind of Death Doom bands sound a lot like Celtic Frost, like Winter, Cyanide. Those are both pretty much Celtic Frost worship bands. But yeah, Celtic Frost. I mean, there's so many metal bands out there that sound like Celtic Frost. It's kind of insane, honestly. Silent Enigma was a nice transition of their old and new era. I would definitely agree. I think it was definitely an improvement on Serenades for sure. Haven't given Anathema much of a chance. I'm only familiar with their earlier work. I'd say give them another shot. I think their later stuff is pretty. I think their later stuff is honestly better than some of their earlier stuff. it's pretty decent if you're into like kind of more, I guess, like kind of atmospheric rock, kind of progressive rock. It's definitely not as heavy as some of their earlier stuff, but I think it's pretty good. It's dark, it's moody, and I like dark and moody stuff, so yeah, I like it. Actually, speaking of like, while we're on the topic of like kind of Peaceville Death Doom, who are the Peaceville 3? Because I feel like everyone has a different answer who they are. Is it, first of all, is it the Peaceville 3 or is it the Peaceville 4? Because obviously, like, My Dying Bride and Paradise Lost are like kind of the two big ones. But then it's either Anathema or Catatonia, or it's both of them. Like, because I've always kind of, again, I see the term that kind of the Peaceville 3 get thrown around quite a bit, but I feel like no one has a concise definition on like what it actually is. So Peaceville 3, so then who is it? Is it My Dying Bride, Paradise Lost, and Anathema? Or is it My Dying Bride, Paradise Lost, and Catatonia? Which one would it be, you think? Or would it be another band that I can't think, I'm not remembering off the top of my head currently? Anathema is superb musically. 3 brothers in one band must be something special. It must be something stressful, honestly, because you know, kind of always the old saying, like, you know, don't start a business with your friends and don't start a business with your friends and family. I can't imagine like starting a band with like a family member, because just, you know, so many horror stories too about bands that have family members, you know, and they just like are constantly like fighting each other and stuff. Like, it would be like, I'm sure a lot of times it's probably nice, but it must be an absolute nightmare for some people. What's your favorite Canadian metal bands? Favorite Canadian metal bands? Well, we already mentioned Sacrifice, of course. I mean, they're amazing. Razor, of course, even though they're... Razor's a weird one, man, because when they're at their best, man, they were at their best. But when they were at their shittiest, boy, they were at their shittiest. But yeah, Razor's awesome. I mean, obviously, what else? Like Cryptopsy. Cryptopsy, pretty much the band that introduced me to brutal death metal. So yeah, they've always kind of been a pretty special band for me. What else? Why I cannot think. Why can I not think of any other metal bands here? Let me consult my handy dandy little phone down here. Oh, Conqueror. Right, yeah, Conqueror. Conqueror, fucking amazing. Blasphemy, obviously. Revenge. Like, well, I mean, Canada, we are the home of war metal or bestial black metal, whatever the hell you want to call it. So yeah, I mean, all those bands I think are really, really killer too. I know a lot of people don't like that stuff, but I love that stuff personally. Yeah. Was it? Okay, sorry. Just kind of trying to catch up on the comments here. Only Peaceville records I own are from Autopsy and Prophecy of Doom. Catatonia was an unofficial Peaceville 3 to me, but they weren't from the English scene like the others. That's a good point, actually. Hey, man, I love your videos. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I really appreciate all the love and support you guys have given me and stuff. I know I probably say that a lot, but I do truly mean it. It means a lot to me. Having a family member in your band is awkward as hell, in my opinion. Yeah, I can definitely see how that would be incredibly awkward. Speaking of Sacrifice, I need to hear the new release. Yeah, I'm totally stoked for the new release. I'm trying not to have too high of expectations, just in case it is shit. But, you know, obviously, but I don't think it's gonna. I don't see them fucking up. Like, they have no bad albums at this point. So yeah, I'm very stoked for the new release. Voivod, yeah, Voivod's weird, man. Like they kind of started off more straightforward, but then they just got weirder and weirder as the years went along. Which, yeah, Voivod, I like them, but they're definitely a very weird band. Or in Jeff Tate's case, him and his family taking over the band, essentially. Yeah, Jeff Tate. Queen, man, Queensryche, it's so tragic because their early stuff is so good, but then Jeff Tate's ego just absolutely ruined the fucking band. Like, it just bad. Yep, you make great rankings, and overall you're right. Hey, thank you, man. Thank you. Thanks, guys. I appreciate all the compliments and stuff. Like I do truly appreciate everything. Annihilator, Canadian Slaughter, yep, those two bands are killer. Speaking about the Canadian band, you should check out Meat Locker 7, groovy thrash metal from Vancouver, I believe. Oh, well, actually, speaking of Vancouver, I mean, obviously Devin Townsend is from Canada. Strapping Young Lad, they're killer. What kind of an early band I got into, weirdly. Like, they were really one of the bands that actually kind of introduced me to like the more the heavier side of metal, strangely enough. Like, I actually got into Strapping Young Lad before I even heard like a lot of the old school thrash metal bands, which I think is kind of interesting. I think you will live forever just because you survived ranking 6 feet under. Dude, that was the most painful thing I've ever done in my life. Like, I've broken my arm before. Like, I've injured myself multiple times. I have a big scar on my knee because I, like, scraped my knee once, like, when I was little, and it fucking hurt really bad. Those are nowhere near as painful as fucking ranking 6 feet under. Like, I would legitimately rather, like, be kicked in the nuts repeatedly than sit through that discography again because, oh my god, it's the most painful. Like, even when they're at their best, even at their very, very best, they still are fucking bad. Like, Haunted, I know people like that album. I know a lot of people do like that album. That album is, like, so boring to me. Like, every single song there just sounds the same. It's literally an Obituary album with Chris Barnes on the vocals. So it's, like, it's not even Diet Obituary. It's, like, the sugar-free version of Obituary. And then they just got progressively worse and worse and worse as the years went along. And then you get to Nightmares of the Decomposed. It's like, how the fuck? How do you do? How did the people at Metal Blade hear that album and were like, yes, we can release this to the public? Like, why does that? I hate 6 Feet Under. Yeah. And then the last album, Killing for Revenge, it was better than Nightmares of the Decomposed, but, like, literally anything is better than dipping your balls in caustic soda. So, yeah, it's like, obviously it's going to be better. But that album still sucks. The cover of Hair of the Dog that they did, poor Dan McCafferty is rolling in his grave like a fucking rotisserie chicken right now because of that goddamn cover. Oh my god, yeah. Chris Barnes' vocals as of late. Yeah. I saw 6 Feet Under in 1995. So boring. See, this is what I mean. Even when they were at their very best, they still sucked ass. I need to do rankings again. I kind of strayed away from that on my channel. I got hooked on doing metal radio shows. I mean, hey man, I enjoy your videos and all that. Like, I enjoy the metal radio shows and stuff like that. But I mean, I would love to see you do rankings again. That would be pretty killer. Love how triggered you get every time you mention 6 feet. Love how triggered you are every time 6 Feet Under is mentioned. Yeah, because they suck. And because they suck. Chris Barnes. I don't know with Ice-T once I can rap. It's so bad. So bad. 6 Feet Under or Opeth? Lol. Definitely Opeth. I mean, come on. I know it's probably a joke, but I mean, Opeth is the vastly superior band. I mean, come on. Even just comparing getting all tongue twisted. Even just comparing Mike Ockerfeld's vocals to fucking Chris Barnes' vocals, even when Chris Barnes was at his very best, I don't think he was particularly that great. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't bad, but in comparison to the other, like, death metal vocals at the time, compare him to, like, Chuck Schuldiner or John Tardy or even LG Petrov, fucking Maddie from Dismember, or, like, compare him to any other, like, most old school death metal vocalist, he doesn't sound that good, in my opinion. Hey, what's up, Tyler? How you doing, man? I agree, 6 Feet Under is absolutely boring. I'll admit I did like Haunted back when it came out, but it hasn't aged very well. There's some there's some decent songs on it. Like, I think I do like the song like Camp for Beat. Like, honestly, I do kind of like that song. It's just kind of a very meat potatoes death metal song, but I think it's pretty decent. And there's other songs there that are okay, but yeah, it's not a great album. It's easily the best 6 Feet Under album. That's really not saying a whole lot though, but yeah, 6 Feet Under, rough. They're rough. Barnes on Butchered is pretty sick. Yeah, I can agree. I think that's probably his best vocal performance, honestly. But I think he sounds good. But even in just comparison to some of the other like death metal vocalists of the time, I don't. He's not like exceptional. Like in my opinion, George Corpsegrinder is obviously the vastly superior vocalist. Like even like by today's, like especially today, but of course even back then, I feel like Corpsegrinder, he's got a better range. He's just got kind of a more powerful kind of delivery, in my opinion. Even like when he was singing back in Monstrosity back in the day, I feel like he sounds better. Yeah, but yeah, and thanks. I appreciate the compliment. Hey, no problem, man. You deserve it. Also, I love Eating Back to Life. Butchered was the first time I heard super guttural vocals. Yeah, no, I get it. If you have I get it. If you obviously have kind of like the nostalgic factor for that, obviously your opinion is different. I kind of don't, just because I didn't get it. I wasn't around in the '90s when these bands were first popping up, so I don't have that kind of same nostalgia factor that I'm sure a lot of you do. So obviously, my opinions on this stuff are all different. I keep the first two SFU albums mostly due to nostalgia. I bought those during my high school days in the '90s. See, that's exactly what I mean. Death's ranking must be very hard to agree with. Your opinion, a damn difficult thing to do. I gotta go to bed now. Work tomorrow. I'll talk to y'all later. All right, see you later, Tony. Take care, man. Yeah, Death is a very interesting band to rank. I also ranked them, and that was kind of fun. They were a fun band to go back, especially since I hadn't listened to Death in a while, just because I found other death metal bands that I admittedly like more. But Death are a really solid band, and to me, they're one of those bands where like, really, you could rank the discography in pretty much any order, and I would not have a problem with it. Like, you could have like Scream Bloody Gore at number 1, even though Scream Bloody Gore was dead last for me, and I would not have a problem with it, because honestly, Death is just, they have no bad albums. They're just consistently awesome. They have no bad songs, even, I will say. Doing okay, realizing with this weather I may have to cancel an inspection for my vehicle. Oh, geez, that sucks. Love Corpsegrinder and Monstrosity. Oh, yeah, Monstrosity's awesome band. Imperial Doom. Ooh, that album rips. Do you think it's possible to come with something new speaking about heavy metal in general? Or do you think it's possible to come up with something new speaking about heavy metal in general? Come up with something new. Like, do you mean like kind of like coming up with like a new sound, or like coming up with like? Sorry, I'm just a little lost. What do you mean by that? If you could elaborate on that, that would be appreciated. I'd be appreciative. Butcher at Birth was my first Cannibal Corpse I got back in the '90s, and still remember the funny looks I got back then. Oh yeah, I can imagine all the weird looks you got and stuff. I mean, I've gotten some weird looks at my high school for here actually, yeah, because I hang my stuff up on the wall. Yeah, right here. Get it. This is my battle vest. Haven't worn it in a while just because I need to get some more patches to actually complete it. But I've gotten some people questioning me about this Marduk patch in particular. This one gets a lot of weird looks from people. I actually have had like a couple of people ask me if I'm a Satanist and stuff. Like, not even kidding. Like, legitimately, people asking me if I listen to like devil music and stuff. And obviously, I'm just like, no. But yeah, I've gotten a lot of weird looks for this Marduk patch. So yeah, I don't have the Butchered at Birth, admittedly, but I still need to get that. But yeah, I can imagine getting all the funny looks back then, especially in the '90s. Yeah. Just hand that back up right there. Imperial Doom is my top 5 ever. Those drums are amazing. Oh yeah, Imperial Doom is a really, really awesome album. Probably my favorite Monstrosity album, but I don't know. I'd have to rank Monstrosity because, yeah, I think Monstrosity is just a really killer, underrated death metal band. Maybe favorite movies? Ooh, favorite movies. Yeah, movies are a little more kind of tough for me to like lay out my absolute favorites, although some ones are very up there for me. Shawshank Redemption's always been way, 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 way up there for me because Shawshank Redemption, that's like one of those. I know that movie has like the most popular movie, or the most beloved movie ever, basically. But I love that movie to bits and pieces. If it comes on at any point in the movie, I'm sitting down and watching it. I do not care. Other favorite movies of mine, Apocalypse Now is really up there for me. I like a lot of war movies. I love The Deer Hunter 2 is one of my favorites as well. Full Metal Jacket. What else? What else? What's that one? I'm blanking. Why the shit am I? Why am I blanking? Ah. Why am I blanking? Okay. I'm trying to think of like one other like Vietnam movie. No. Oh, I got it. It's not Vietnam War, but Thin Red Line, the 1998 one by Terrence Malick. I love that movie so much. I love Terrence Malick's movies in general. Like I love Days of Heaven as well, and Badlands I think is awesome. The Thing, 1982, obviously that's my favorite horror movie. Favorite comedy movie would probably be Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Or, well, it's either Planes, Trains, and Automobiles or The Big Lebowski. One of those two would be my favorite comedy. Yeah, no, I do watch a lot of movies. I love movies too, so, yeah. Sorry, just some comments here. Chronicles Butchered long even worse back then. Most people didn't even know death metal existed. Well, I mean, in 91 was when Butchered came out, so death metal was still like only a few years old. It was still very much in its infancy. Stream metal is just entertainment to me, and I still love it. Yeah, no, I get that. What's this? I mean, we have a lot of genres. For example, melodic death, black melodic death. When I said something new, I mean a new genre. In terms of like inventing a new genre, I mean, yeah, I feel like we could still very much invent like a new genre of metal. It's just kind of one of those things where metal is already so diversified in its sound, and we already have so many different terms and names for metal subgenres that, like, coming up with like a new genre term, that's actually going to like stick is kind of maybe a difficult one. But yeah, I feel like there is still capacity for bands to do something new, because obviously, there's still always sounds to explore, and there's still always, stuff that we could do, like, there's always stuff that we can just experiment with and stuff. So yeah, I feel like it's a fair. I feel like that's. I mean, who knows? I mean, how is metal going to look in like the next 20 years? I feel like that's a very kind of interesting thing to kind of think about. Like how is metal going to evolve in the next few years? Is it going to evolve at all? That's always kind of a thing that I'm kind of like debating about a little bit. So yeah, I think good question. I think that's a really good question. Like I knew a guy with a Marduk shirt. I would love to get a shirt of that, actually. That'd be fucking sick. So Sepultura current lineup retires and Cavalera does free re-recordings of first free Sepultura albums. I'm betting we may get a new lineup from Max and Igor sooner than expected. Yeah, possibly. I mean, knowing Max, he'll definitely try to buy back like the Sepultura name and start playing shows under Sepultura again. Just because with Max, like his whole thing, like that's basically his whole thing since like the late 90s is that he's just, no Cavalera, no Sepultura. That's basically his whole thing, which, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like Max should like just like calm down and kind of suck up and get over it, honestly, just because I don't know. His whole thing of just like it's just kind of shitty, really, honestly. Like him just kind of starting up like those chants at like shows and stuff. Like like the fact he's still so salty about the fact he got kicked out of his band like 30 years ago at this point is just kind of stupid in my opinion. And really for me with Sepultura, kind of the thing that makes Sepultura back in the day, honestly, was Andreas Kisser. Like when they brought him into the band, he is really what made them Sepultura. Because you listen to Morbid Visions, and then you listen to Schizophrenia, it's such a vast improvement that, like, again, it's just such a vast improvement. Like, everything about it got better when Andreas joined the band. Like, the songwriting improved, the riffs got better, they brought in a lot more kind of nuance and more kind of, like, melody and more adventurous, really. So, yeah, I think, I kind of feel like with Sepultura, like, for me, like, kind of, I know a lot of people are kind of like, also do kind of side with Max on that whole issue where no Cavalera, no Sepultura. I'm not one of those people. Like, for me, I feel like Andreas is really what made Sepultura back in the day. Well, obviously him, Max, and Igor all working together is really what made that band, but Andreas is definitely such an integral part to that band, in my opinion. Superb movie, Shawshank? Yeah, absolutely. First RoboCop. I've actually never seen RoboCop. Honestly, like I know I've never seen RoboCop. Yeah, I know that's one thing I should watch. But Terminator 2. I mean, I've obviously seen Terminator movies. Terminator 2 is amazing. But yeah, I've never seen RoboCop. Over the Edge is my favorite movie ever. Matt Dillon's first when he was a teen. Soundtrack has Ramones, Cheap Trick. I own 3 versions on DVD and Blu-ray. Isn't that the Sylvester Stallone arm wrestling movie? Oh no, that's Over the Top. Over the Edge. I don't think I've seen this movie. Yeah, I don't think I've seen this one. Yeah, no, I probably have to watch that. Cheap Trick on the soundtrack. I mean, I love Cheap Trick. Cheap Trick's been one of my favorite bands, like, ever since I was, like, pretty young. I've been listening to Cheap Trick, like, even before I got into, like, metal. And yeah, I love Cheap Trick. They're awesome. Original Sepultura vocalist and Sarcophago dude is now in a stoner doom band called The Evil. I do know that. I have heard of The Evil, but I have not checked them out yet. Ever seen Trick or Treat from '86? It's with Ozzy and Gene Simmons in it. It's about backward masking record and summoning the devil. I've actually not heard of that. Trick or Treat 1986. Yeah, I have not seen this one. We'll definitely have to check it out. There was definitely a big jump from Morbid Visions to Schizophrenia. The Plane was definitely better on Schizophrenia. Yeah, I would agree. The Plane was definitely better. The production still kind of sucked on Schizophrenia a little bit, but even then the production was better because Morbid Visions is just like... Morbid Visions just sounds really, really, really bad. It doesn't sound bad in like an endearing way like a lot of other like raw production that was coming out around the same time. Like obviously the guitars were like not in tune and they sound bad. The drums sound bad. It's a lot of just kind of... the production of Morbid Visions also sucks, and production is better on Schizophrenia, but it's still not the best. Inquisition Symphony, one of the greatest Welcome to the Band tracks with Andreas. Yeah, that song is absolutely amazing. I love the shit out of that song. Schizophrenia is like way, way up there for me in terms of like Sepultura releases. I think it was number 3 when I ranked Sepultura, if I remember correctly. I loved the album, despite the production being pretty so-so. Sepultura versus Soulfly. Sepultura. That's a no-brainer. Soulfly, I don't really like Soulfly that much. Like Max Cavalera trying to do like new metal, basically trying to like I said, like early Soulfly is just kind of like a watered down version of Roots, and already I'm not a giant fan of Roots to begin with. So yeah, I don't like Soulfly. I have heard that some of the later stuff is good. Like I heard some of the later stuff is kind of more like death thrash groove metal. It's not new metal-y. Whatever. I still have. I don't know. So, but yeah, Sepultura. Like that's a no-brainer. Sepultura was a huge band for me getting into like metal. Yeah, definitely one of my earliest exposures to like thrash and just like groove metal stuff like that. Cavalera Conspiracy. Have not listened to much in the way of Cavalera Conspiracy. I've heard like a couple songs, but I still need to listen to like a full length from them. Beneath the Remains is still my favorite, but Arise creeps up there over the years. Yeah, no. Beneath the Remains that's my favorite Sepultura album. I love that album. That's a perfect metal album, honestly. Perfect production, perfect songwriting. Like, dude, Inner Self, Stronger Than Hate, Mass Hypnosis, the title track, Slaves of Pain, and Arise is a very close second. Like, that is like, they're almost interchangeable, but I give the slight edge to Beneath the Remains. Roots is proto Soulfly. I liked it for about a minute. Yeah, basically, Roots has some good songs on it. Like I do like the Roots Bloody Roots. I do like that song. I thought Attitude was a pretty decent song, and Radamahata, I actually do like that song. Rest of the album, for one, it is super fucking long for no reason. Like that album has no reason to be over an hour long, but it is for some reason. And some of Sepultura's worst songs are on that album. Like Look Away, I fucking hate Look Away. I just cannot stand that song. I'm sorry, Mike Patton, you could not save that song. I cannot stand Look Away, and other tracks. It's it's not a great album. Some of the later Soulfly is okay. I thought Dark Ages and Conquer were pretty good. Yeah, I've heard Dark Ages was a pretty good album, so maybe I'll have to check it out. Roots is overrated. I don't know if I would say it's overrated. Roots is a very, very divisive album among the Sepultura fan base. Like, actually, Roots is actually like the lowest rated album on the archives for Sepultura, which I kind of agree with. Roots is definitely not the worst Sepultura. Like, I think Against is definitely worse, and there's a couple albums that I think are worse than Roots, but like, I don't get people who say like Roots is like, I don't agree that Roots is their worst album, but but a lot of people say Roots is like Sepultura's best album, and I think that's just absolutely crazy. Like, it's like, I get if you like Roots, I get if you maybe have like the nostalgic factor for Roots, if you got into them with the whole new metal era, but like compared to Arise, compared to like even Chaos AD, no, absolutely not. It's no. Roots bored me. Then again, I can't get into that new metal sound. I do still like some old new metal, just because new metal did kind of play a part in me getting into metal. I was a big fan of Slipknot for a little bit. I was a big fan of Korn, Static X, but yeah, it's not something I go back to on a regular basis, really. What do you think is the most overrated metal albums? Ooh, overrated metal albums. Okay. So this is one that I don't know. This is an album that I see have like universal praise, like all over like the internet. Like, it's their highest rated album on the archives. It's their highest rated album on Metal Storm and on like Rate Your Music and stuff like that. But The Crimson Idol by Wasp. I don't. What am I missing? I do not get why that album is so beloved by people. Like, it has like a 97% rating on the Metal Archives, and all that. I'm like, how does this have a higher rating than like Headless Children and like the debut? I don't get The Crimson Idol, really. It's just a boring kind of album. There's like every other track is a fucking like acoustic ballad. Like, it's barely even a Wasp album. Like, it's basically a Blackie Lawless solo rock opera. But I don't know, that album has like so many people seem to love that album, and I don't get it. It's not like the worst thing I've ever heard. I think Wasp definitely wrote worse albums later, but it's not a good album, really. It's not really that great of an album, in my opinion. Another one I think is pretty overrated, honestly. Might be a bit more of a divisive album, but for me, Gorguts Obscura is really up there for me. I don't like that album really at all. A lot of people, I do get it kind of has its place in like metal history for being like an influential album. I know I know this kind of, new kind of trend of like these dissonant, avant-garde, techie metal bands like Ulcerate and stuff like that. I know that like Obscura is pretty big for influencing those bands, but it's not a good album, really, in my opinion. The songwriting is just a mess. The songs, they feel thrown together all at random. The production is like pretty bad too. The vocals on that album, I think, suck. I feel like it's easily the worst vocal performance, and I think just Gorguts did much better at their kind of like weird tech metal style later on. Like, I think From Wisdom to Hate was definitely an improvement, and I think Colored Sands was also an improvement, but I just don't like Obscura. I don't think I just can't get into it. I still side with the early, more straight up death metal stuff. Like, I consider Dead is still my favorite Gorguts album. I really like that album. Version of Sanity, good follow up, but yeah, no, Obscura is just, it's just a mess, frankly. It's just a mess, in my opinion. Sorry, I'm coughing a little bit. Throat's getting a little bit sore from just talking for like almost 2 hours straight. I usually don't care too much for re-recorded records, but Cavalera did some great remakes of Morbid Visions and Bestial Devastation. Yeah, I don't really care much for re-recordings either, but I think like Morbid Visions I feel like Morbid Visions definitely could have done very well for re-recording, just because, again, the production on the original is really bad. Not a Wasp fan. Yeah, no, I get it. Wasp is definitely not for everybody. They're dirty, they're sleazy, they're just, yeah. Not a fan of Gorguts Obscura either. Hey, I'm not alone after all. What's your take on Tremonti? I assume you mean Mark Tremonti from Creed. Frankly, Mark Tremonti is a great guitarist. He is a really, really, really solid guitarist. I feel like he's too good for Creed honestly. Like, and yeah, I like his stuff in like kind of like Alter Bridge and stuff. I honestly think is way better than Creed. I don't hate Creed either. Like, I don't think Creed are like the worst band ever, but yeah. Oh, you meant his band? Actually, his I haven't. I've listened to Alter Bridge. I haven't heard like Mark Tremonti's like, because I know he has like. Did he just put out a solo album or did he just put out another album? I haven't heard it yet. Maybe I will because I think Mark Tremonti is a great guitarist and he loves like old school like metal. I know in like interviews and stuff he said he's a big fan of like Merciful Fate and like Celtic Frost and stuff like that, which kind of interesting. Like a guy who was influenced by those bands went on to play in a Christian band. That's just kind of funny to me. Favorite death metal worship band, e.g., Frozen Soul, Gruesome, etc. That's a good question. Favorite death metal worship band? Does it have to be like a modern one? Because I'm thinking of like a lot of kind of like older death metal bands that are definitely kind of worship bands, but like I don't know if they like fully count because they're still kind of older. Because like would a band like Morgoth count as like kind of a death metal worship band? Because they're like their kind of whole thing was that they, at least like their early stuff, is that they just worshipped death and like obituary pretty much. That was kind of their whole thing. And so yeah, Morgoth I think they're really good. What was Morbid Angel thinking making an album like Elude Divinum so damn industrial and so damn weird? I don't know what they were. Yeah, no. That album's a fucking disaster. Like, fucking Radical. Oh my good fucking lord, that album is so unbelievably terrible. Like, I don't get that album. Like, I don't get that album. I don't get why it has to exist. I know Dave Vincent, like he played in like what's that other band? Like Jenna Tortures, I feel like it's if it's called, I remember correctly. I know he played in that band for a while, so he got a taste of the more industrial kind of stuff, and he wanted to bring that into Morbid Angel, but damn, they fucking screwed the pooch big time on that one. The lamest production, the most terrible lyrics ever, but yeah, no, that album is it's one of the worst metal albums of all time, without a doubt. Love Considered Dead reminds me of scraping resin to get high enough to go to school. Oh yeah, Considered Dead is it's kind of a leprosy worship album a little bit. I mean, it sounds like leprosy, but it's an awesome album, definitely. So much awesome throwback death metal bands right now. Yeah, some of them are pretty good. Others I feel like are just kind of a little bit just kind of too samey almost. Like I feel like there's a lot of these bands that just kind of don't really do much to put their own spin on things and just kind of play very meat and potatoes kind of stuff. But I think others are like better. Yeah, the new wave of like old school death metal is very, very kind of interesting movement. I don't think it's like amazing across the board necessarily, but I think it is. There's some good bands that come out of it. Was this? Dave Vincent did country too. Yep, I know he did country. I actually have not listened to much of his country stuff. I'm not a big country fan, admittedly, just because. Yeah, I don't know. Just I like older country stuff sometimes, but like I'm just not a big country fan. The project isn't far from Alter Bridge, but you can tell he's unleashing more metal riffage compared to the former. Okay, that's pretty. Yeah, okay, that sounds interesting. I find a new OSDM boring, TBH. Yeah, no, that's fair. I do get it. A lot of the new old school, like the OSDM revival bands, they kind of don't do enough to really stand on their own two legs. They just kind of like, okay, we'll play some Morbid Angel riffs, or we'll play some Bolt Thrower riffs, or we'll just play some just kind of stock death metal riffs and just slap an HM2 guitar tone on it and call it a day. Like those bands, I think, are just kind of boring, but some of them are like pretty good. Like Skeletal Remains, I think, are awesome. Laceration is really good. There are some good, old school death metal bands or OSDM revival bands, I should say, but some of them are pretty good. But yeah, some of them are definitely very boring. I agree. What up, Xenon? Oh, just live streaming, been going for almost 2 hours at this point, so probably not going to be going on for much longer, but we'll hold up for a few minutes, see how things go. sometimes I wonder if some bands put out bad albums just to get people talking. I mean, maybe that I could see that for sure. Like, I mean, why does 6 Feet Under continue to put out albums? You know, why? Why do they feel the need to do cover albums? Like, why do they cover a bunch of Iron Maiden and Judas Priest albums? There's no way that they did that and thought, hey, this is actually good. You know, like, I think that they had to put it. They had to know it was bad, right? They had to know. They just had to know. But didn't you? You don't listen. You don't put that out thinking it's good, do you? Or maybe you do. I don't know. Thoughts on the new Dream Theater? I have not listened to the new Dream Theater. I am admittedly not a Dream Theater fan. I've tried to get into Dream Theater. I just can't. I forget where I read it. I think it might have been on the comment section of someone else's video that was talking about Dream Theater, but someone said that Dream Theater is basically the musical equivalent of getting like the finest, some of the top chefs in the world to make you like instant microwave noodles, basically. And I think that's just a funny comment, but I honestly kind of agree. But yeah, that new Dream Theater, I've not listened to it just because I'm not a Dream Theater fan, really. I just can't really get into them. Yeah, someone else mentioned Labrie is the weakest link. Yeah, I agree. James, just get a better singer, honestly. James Labrie is not a great singer in my opinion. I know he got like food poisoning and stuff, and that really made his vocals go downhill more. But yeah, didn't listen to it just because I'm not a big Dream Theater fan. Prog is more kind of hit or miss with me anyways. Some of it I really love, some of it I just don't care for at all. Death metal got too overproduced and sterile in the late 90s, early 2000s, so it's refreshing to see the Knuckle Dragon come back. I can definitely understand that for sure. Which is why I think many death metal bands responded with overproduction by going more brutal early 2000s. Yeah, I could agree with that, I think, because the 2000s definitely was kind of a more noticeable kind of explosion in like the brutal death metal thing. That's kind of like when the big kind of second wave of brutal death metal really kind of started to kick off, I think. Because like the first wave of brutal death metal was obviously more mid 90s, but yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Thoughts on the new Obscura plagiarism side? Haven't heard it. Obscura, I've not listened to much in the way of Obscura. I know that they're tech death, progressive death. I just have not really dived much into them. I know that they had members of Necrophagist or have members of Necrophagist in them. I'm not a big Necrophagist guy either, so yeah, I haven't checked it out. I did hear about all the plagiarism scandal and stuff like that, which yeah, that's if it is true, if he did plagiarize stuff like that's shitty, obviously, but yeah, I mean I wouldn't know much about that. I just heard people talking about it. Really. Thoughts on the new 16 album or the band in general? I have not listened to 16 yet. That's one band I still need to get into. I know they're like sludge, but I have not heard it yet. Dude from Symphony X would be curious to see how he'd do with Dream Theater swapping Labrie. Oh yeah, no, dude, Symphony X. I love Symphony X. That amazing vocalist. That dude is one of my favorite male vocalists ever. I think he sounds absolutely awesome. Or even getting why can't I remember his name? Ray. Or even getting Ray, from Fate's Warning to do Dream Theater. I'd love to see how that would go, honestly. One of my favorite current death metal bands is Torture Rack. I've heard of Torture Rack. I still need to get into Torture Rack, though. Yeah. But, I mean, yeah, I love Symphony X. Symphony X has also got kind of more the power metal kind of thing going on, too, which I'm a big power metal fan. So, yeah, they're power prog. So, yeah, I like Symphony X a lot. Dude, Divine Wayne's Tragedy, awesome album. All right, well, we've been streaming now for about 2 hours at this point, so I think now is kind of a fine time to call it quits. I gotta go eat dinner and stuff. I haven't eaten yet, so I'm gonna end the stream right here. Thank you everyone who stopped by. Thank you to everyone who asked questions and stuff. Thank you to everyone in the live chat. Yeah, thank you everyone for showing up, chatting. It's been a lot of fun doing this. I just kind of did this later just to see, kind of how far it would go, or just to see how it would go. But yeah, I'll definitely do more live streams in the future. This was a lot of fun, and I look forward to doing all this again. So yeah, I'll see you all guys later. Stay metal, stay rocking. I'll I'll see you all some later. I'll be making videos and stuff. So yeah, see y'all later. Take care. Have a great day. See ya.